Is the area?
Yeah, I would say location.
Structure. So anatomy, structure, physiology, function.
Okay. So do you remember we made a statement about gosh, what was it actually in the first chapter? It is function and structure go together, right? So,
Physiology?
What's that?
Is that physiology? Structure?
No, it's how anatomy and
word.
physiology work.
Oh, yeah.
That structure is going to go along with function.
Yeah.
So, so for instance, you've got veins that are by skeletal muscles are pushing the blood back this way, and all along the way are valves that prevent it from the blood falling back down to your feet. So again, the blood has to get back to the heart, so the valves work in one direction. So everything goes along with structure and function. The optic nerve has to be innervated to the eye, and you've got to have a hole in the back of the head, the optic foramen, to be able to innervate the eye. So function and structure are always complementary to one another. Okay. What about homeostasis? What is this?
It's like maintaining
the natural balance for survival.
Okay. And so anytime that you're not doing the maintenance, it's failed homeostasis, right? So homeostasis is always trying to keep in balance and equilibrium. Okay. And then how about positive feedback? What is that? For homeostasis.
Whenever it intensifies, right?
It goes more away from normal.
So it's like when you're like in labor,
contraction,
right?
yeah,
It's like intensive
labor.
Right. What was the other example? Do you remember, Damien?
I remember
there's another one.
Oh, wait, there's
Was it
labor
blood
and
pressure?
yeah, I was gonna say.
Was
Does that have to do with blood?
Blood
Yeah, but blood sugar?
blood clotting.
Blood
Oh,
clotting.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what's an example of negative feedback?
Is that when like you shiver?
Goes back to normal.
So is that like when you're sweating and then you're sweating because you're hot and you're trying to cool down? Is that
Right.
negative feedback?
So you're going back to normal. Positive feedbacks are going away from normal temporarily.
To reach normal again.
And then negative is going back to normal. How about, let's think about the skin. Give me the function of the skin.
Protection.
Thermoregulation.
It's like hydrate. Like
To keep water from coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it from dehydrating.
Isn't it also sensory for protection from external stimulus like bugs and
isn't it like also
Sensory?
like a border?
sensory?
It's like a
What else?
border to keep your insides.
Right, it's like-
Thermoregulation.
Thermoregulation.
Isn't it
Perfect.
something with like bacteria? Like it's a border to keep
Oh,
bacteria.
Takes
yeah.
out the bacteria. Perfect. What else,
The
Damien?
boundary between
Secretion?
Secretions, right?
external and internal.
It's collecting sensory data to maintain homeostasis.
Right.
Anything else?
There's one more, right?
There
Yeah,
are
there
a
was
bunch
like
more.
there was like
There's
11.
11, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch more.
Shapes and protects body? Or like shapes?
So
Protection.
protection.
Structure.
No, not structure, right?
No, it's
protection.
bones.
So
Oh,
Water.
waste removal.
Waste removal. Good.
Oh,
Urea.
nutrients. It absorbs vitamin D from the sun.
It
right?
actually makes.
It makes vitamin C.
Yeah.
vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
So the
Wow.
UV hits the skin, and then you get the production of vitamin D. Good. That's pretty good. I think you got the majority of them. And hopefully you'll be able to remember it's multiple choice. You'll be able to recognize what's going on there. What is melanin? What cells produce it?
Melanocytes.
And melanin is the producing pigment.
Producing pigment for what reason?
UV protection.
Yes.
UV protection. Okay. What do we have? What are the two layers of the skin?
Yeah.
Right.
Dermis and epidermis.
Epidermis,
And hypodermis is
The fat.
just supporting.
It's not actually
Yeah,
it's not a layer.
Epidermis, dermis, hypodermis.
And hypodermis is not
Hypodermis
technically a part of the skin.
attaches to muscle.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Skeletal
skin attaches
muscle.
to the skeleton.
Is that where all the subcutaneous fat is located?
And then what comprises the epidermis?
The 4 layers.
So the
or
bottom
5
one is
during your
basal.
palms.
Oh, what was my? Is that the
I remember the first one's basal.
Cor-
layer. Remember?
corneal?
It's either coronal or
Corneal.
squamous, right?
corneal, squamous?
Basal, like.
How about give me just what makes up epidermis?
Oh,
Skin
cells.
cells.
Basal spinosum.
We don't call them skin cells.
Basal
It's dead.
spins, grush,
Dead skin
Basal?
cell. Isn't it dead?
spins.
Oh no, they're,
Luscious.
oh, you're talking about the
cells?
epithelial cells.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
What are the 4 types of tissues, categories of tissues found in the body?
Smooth muscle or muscle?
Muscle, smooth, cardiac.
No, those are the types of muscle. Connective,
connective,
epithelial,
epithelium,
And nervous.
What's
and nervous. Okay, those are the 4 types. Okay, so epidermis is comprised of
Epithelial.
epithelial tissue. Right.
Oh, I remember.
Does it have blood in there?
In the
No.
dermis.
Not in epithelial
yeah.
cells.
Correct. Okay. What sort of glands are found in the dermis?
Like
Oh,
the sweat glands.
sebaceous
Sebaceous
glands.
Sebaceous,
Is there endocrine glands?
And no, apocrine?
apocrine glands,
Acrine.
and eccrine
Oh,
glands.
look at you.
Okay.
What is
What
it?
are
Yeah,
what
all
are
skin, just almost.
what are connected to the hair follicle?
Erectum.
Pili.
Okay, and what else is connected to the hair?
Sebaceous glands.
Sebaceous glands.
That's the oil.
What else
gland.
is
What do you got?
connected?
This.
What else is connected to the hair in the axillary area and the genital
Oh,
anal
that's
area?
oh.
Epicrine?
Apocrine.
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 That's A.
That's what gives you your
Apocrine.
BO and your hormone.
Correct. Correct.
That's the thing. Microorganism is located.
Okay. So, what is the dead layer on the surface called?
Oh, that's the very top surface.
You guys have got to look at your layers.
Callosum.
Okay, please.
Right?
Is it callosum?
Basal spins green luscious cloth. Right?
Basal.
So it's callosum.
Corpus is it? No, it's
No.
not corpus callosum. That's
That's the brain.
I don't like that's part of the
I see it on the.
What
I'm
is
trying
it?
to think.
I know there's
I'm not
basal.
going to give you
or-
answers. I'm just doing a quick review. Who's the
They kind
top
of do
layer?
multiple choice, though.
What is the top layer?
corneum.
Elisa?
No, it's not corneum.
I got it. This one like is all colorful.
Yeah, it's a stratum corneum. That's on the top.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
oh.
it's basal's the bottom row. It's basal, spinosum, granulosum,
and-
corneum. What's the one where it's
Lucidum.
only in the foot?
Lucidum.
Lucidum is
And
in
the
the
palms.
palms.
Yeah, and that's thick skin as opposed to
So
thin
then would
skin.
it would
And
it
where
have,
does it lie?
would it be
between the
the
Base
spinosum
The
and granulosum
granulosum.
right under
Between
the-
granulosum and
Right,
this.
yeah.
and the
Wow.
corneum?
I thought it was this on it.
Right above the
Oh, no, it's
granulosum, right underneath the
Lucidium is right with
callosum.
the the granulosum and the corneum.
Cornea.
Corneum. I don't like you saying callosum.
Cornea. All right.
And then here's the basal up here.
So let's go again. What's the function of the skeletal system?
The skeletal
Basic
support
structure.
structure, protection of organs.
attachment to muscles for movement,
Blood cell production.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's made
nutrient,
of bones.
mineral storage.
Mineral storage.
Yeah. I said storage.
Anything else?
I said mineral storage. I'm trying to think.
It isn't that where your body takes calcium from if it has a calcium deficiency?
That's mineral.
Allows
That's
for
talking
muscle- Allows for
minerals.
muscles to leverage off of.
Yes. Yes.
What did he say?
Allows your muscles to leverage off of.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Or anchor.
Okay. So what goes on with a woman after menopause?
She loses
Estrogen?
bone mass,
Okay. And what is that called?
osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis.
And
Oh, snap.
and what is the hormone that is involved? The lack of hormones after menopause?
Estrogen?
Estrogen. So decrease in estrogen.
So you lose bone mass?
Okay. So when you're looking at a joint and you have two ends of the bone. What is that part of the joint called?
Articulating.
Articular. The articular process or the articular surface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in between all the bones and covering that articular surface is what material?
Connective tissue.
The
Which-
bursa?
Articulating cartilage?
No, no.
Articulating cartilage made out of
synovial
what?
fluid. Oh, fibrous tissue.
It is connective tissue. What's the type? What's the type of cartilage?
Hyaline.
Hyaline.
There we go.
What's
What
the
did you say?
number
Hyaline
one? What's the
cartilage.
number one cartilage found in the body? The most amount.
Hyaline.
Hyaline. Okay. Where's fiber cartilage found?
It's found in your pubic symphysis and your. I don't want to say vertebrae. That's it. Intervertebral disc.
Oh yeah.
And
Your knee.
meniscus.
Meniscus.
Okay. And then what is the third type of cartilage called?
That's the one that doesn't move at all. That's called suture. No, that's a type of joint.
Center. What was the question again? Sorry.
Synovial.
What's this?
Cartilage.
Elastic. Elastic
yeah.
cartilage. Elastic cartilage. Okay. Okay, so which cells build bone mass?
Osteoblasts.
Osteocytes.
Blasts.
Osteoblasts.
Oh,
Which-
right.
Osteo.
Which
break down.
cells break down?
Osteoclast.
Class.
Oh, class. Sorry.
Clasts.
Osteocytes are the
What
cells.
is
My
an
bad.
osteocyte?
It's
mature
a
cells.
mature bone
Mature
cell.
bone cell.
Mature bone cell. Is it breaking or building?
Neither.
Neither. What is it leading to?
An osteon.
No, it's leading to bone growth, I guess.
It is leading to bone structure. It's really it's the cell that comprises the bone. And yes, it lives or resides within the structure of the osteons within the lacunae. Remember the lacunae is the little divot, the little dimple that's found in there. The cell can go in there. All right. Types of joints. So the synovial joint, which one has the greatest amount of movement?
Ball and socket.
Ball and socket.
Ball and socket.
I'm good at joints.
Which joint on the body ends up having, which joint in the body ends up sacrificing stability for mobility?
This one.
Scapular joint. Shoulder
The-
joint.
No,
No,
it's
it's this one,
the
the shoulder
bones.
joint?
It's-
What is
yeah.
that called?
Ball and
The-
socket. The
It's not the bones.
the
Scapular.
oh. humor.
No.
The ball and socket.
Guys
joint.
better look it up. Damien?
I'm trying to think.
Right.
The hip joint.
No, I think
The glenohumeral joint.
Yeah, that's right.
Glenohumeral joint. Perfect. Okay.
I'm not that good of humor. Yeah,
All
well,
right. So
There's
what
something before.
what bone is actually connecting the quadricep tendon and protecting the knee joint?
Patella.
Patella.
That is the patella.
Patellar ligament, right?
I think it's just patella, right?
You tell what bone.
What
It's
bone?
patella
Bone
Right.
anterior.
It's connected to the
Quadricep.
quadricep tendon. And on the bottom, what bone is it, or what connective tissue is it connected to on the bottom?
Patellar ligament.
Patellar ligament.
That's very
Quadriceps
minor.
tendon from the top, patellar ligament.
Oh, I remember that picture.
From the bottom.
What?
Okay. What joint has an anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments?
The knee.
The knee joint. Let's talk about movements. What is this type of a movement?
Elevation.
Elevation. Okay. All right. Muscle physiology. How about what is a motor unit?
Oh, it's the smallest, the contractile unit. Is that what it is? No.
Isn't that the muscle fiber?
Motor unit.
For
Is
muscle?
that the axon and the
Yeah.
sympathetic cleft?
Axon. You're getting there.
This, it's not the smallest.
Oh, a motor unit and all the muscle fibers it supplies.
Okay.
So you guys had bits and parts of it.
So what is it, Julie?
I see it.
Motor-
It's got muscle fibers. What is a muscle fiber?
They're muscle cells.
Muscle cells.
Motor neuron and all
And in
the
order to
muscle
make a
fibers.
muscle cell move, it has to be innervated. It's innervated by a neuron, right?
Mhm.
And that neuron, however many endings, synaptic endings that it has connected to all these muscle cells, is a motor unit. All right, so why don't you go ahead and describe for me what is the histology of smooth muscle?
Histology is function, right? No.
No, histology. What does it look like under the microscope?
Of
It's
a
like ropes.
smooth muscle?
Smooth muscle.
It's long and thin cells.
Okay, spindly.
Oh, okay.
What else? I need you to start thinking. How
Uh,
about
columnar.
lumbar, right?
Columnar.
no?
No.
No, that,
Not striated.
it is non-striated.
Non-striated.
Involuntary.
Involuntary. Perfect.
And it lines the hollow organs.
Lines hollow organs. How many nuclei found in it?
Singular.
One. Okay. Now go on to cardiac.
That one.
They
Cardiac,
are
that is
striated.
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 It's also involuntary.
Involuntary.
And has many nuclei? No, just one.
One nucleus.
And it's also only found in the heart.
Only found in the heart. What's the special junction that's found in there? Junction.
I was thinking, I was like, no, that's a special function. It's over.
So that the heart can beat as a unit. You can't have the heart beating as separate muscle fibers. It's got to beat as a unit. So it's got specialized communication junctions that are found in the heart.
Okay. Communication.
And that's called the intercalated discs. Okay. Now give me the histology of a skeletal muscle.
Several
Striated.
nuclei.
Voluntary.
Several
nuclei.
Mhm.
No, yeah.
It's
They
on
only
the bones
flux,
and
right?
skin. Found in the bone, on the bones and in
Okay.
skin.
They only shorten.
They all muscles only short.
So the only one that's not
And it's
striated is
voluntary.
smooth muscle?
Correct. Yes, voluntary, multinuclei. The basic contractual unit is called a
Sarcomere.
Sarcomere.
I
I remember that. Oh gosh. Remember the videos?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I need you to start thinking of energy sources for muscle movement.
Okay.
What is the fastest source of energy to be used for a muscle?
Glucose.
Aerobic.
ATP.
Oh, ATP.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh,
ATP.
yeah.
And then
ATP. Then
Glucose.
nope.
no. No, glucose you have to pull and turn into ATP. It's it ends with the TP, right?
No.
Okay. That was at the off branch of ATP.
Starts with a C.
Carbs. Carbohydrates.
Bodybuilders take it as a supplement.
Creatine.
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 Creatine what?
Phosphate.
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 Creatine phosphate. The next source of energy,
It's glycosis. Or
Glycogen.
glycogen.
Glucose and
Glucose.
glycogen.
then glycogen,
Mhm.
then the very last,
Fat.
fat,
Fat.
adipose. There you go. Okay. Did you get all those?
Yeah.
You feel good?
Yeah.
All right.
I have to see it. 'Cause I don't remember any of the.
Okay.
But if I see it, I'm like.
What are the
okay.
functions of the muscular system?
Movement.
Okay.
Thermo.
Oh, thermoregulation.
Mm-hmm.
Not regulation, it's heat
Oh,
generation.
heat generation.
Generation.
Stability.
Movement.
I think
Pretty
stability
similar.
is more bones.
Support.
bone,
Stabilizing joints
stabilizing
Oh, yeah,
joints,
joints.
and posture.
posture. Okay, so in order to have muscle movement, in order to have an action potential, we need to set up an electrochemical
Is that the sodium potassium?
electrochemical charge on each side of the cell. So within the cell, what do you see?
Potassium.
High potassium. Outside of the cell,
Sodium.
sodium. What is the mechanism that keeps that balance?
Sodium potassium pump.
You got it. Got it.
Circle K.
Circle.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just think of that.
Wait. So
K's on the inside.
depolarization, then repolarization.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want you to think about the two types of exercise or potential.
Aerobic and anaerobic.
No. Exercise with pushing the wall down or
Oh.
actually.
Weight bearing and that?
No.
I know who you're talking about.
The recruitment.
No.
I remember that because that's when what's his face came in.
So we're pushing the wall down, or we're actually doing.
It starts with an I, one of them, right?
One of them starts with an I.
Is it like individual
No.
versus? Okay.
Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue right now. I lost
Isotonic?
it.
Iso.
Yeah.
An
Is-
isometric.
Isometric
Uh-huh.
and not iso.
Isn't it just tonic?
No.
Is that okay?
Isometric doesn't move.
Isotonic is either concentric or eccentric. Are you talking about that or no?
Isotonic is trying to push the wall down.
Oh, okay. So concentric is muscle shortens and does the work. Eccentric, the muscle contracts as
Got
it
it.
lengthens.
Concentric?
It's not concentric. No.
Okay.
It's eccentric.
Wait, so in isotonic, which one is the one where you're pushing the wall? Is that eccentric?
Oh, it's
Iso-
pushing away.
Isotonic is the way my little Indonesian friend would exercise.
Yeah,
You just-
isotonic is no weight, all flex. That's right.
And
the other
what's
one's
the
a
other
weight
one?
bearing one.
What's
which
the
is-
other
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Isometric.
No.
No.
Yeah, right?
No.
Isometric is like
Right here.
this. You're flexing
Yeah.
against your own weight.
Isotonic, isometric. Everyone develop.
Oh, geez, I know.
We are
this
both
is-
ISOs. Sorry about that. I was thinking.
I was thinking it was like
kinesthetic. That's what I was thinking, like
Yeah.
calisthenics and
Oh.
kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic.
All right, I got to get that old term out of my mind.
Okay, so it
Isometric-
is isometric and isotonic. Isotonic, you push the wall down. Isometric, it's flexion without movement.
No.
No, isometric is like you're pushing the wall down. Isotonic is where you're actually like you're still moving. Like you get your two hands and try to like push the
Yeah,
other
but
one over.
there's no like, there's not
Yeah,
gonna be any.
there's no weight there though. You're using it's like free weight or like
No,
you're
one of
pretending to
them.
flex.
One of them
That's
is
isometric.
that you're
Yeah.
not moving.
That's isometric.
Isometric,
Yeah.
and then isotonic is whenever your muscle changes in length.
Yeah.
It changes in length and actually weight bearing.
Yeah, weight bearing.
Whew, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Forgot about that.
Okay. All right. So now we need to think about the sarcomere. What's a cross bridge?
Oh, whenever actin is connected to the myosin, right?
Okay. And so those are the two molecules that are there. So actin and myosin, right? So they end up forming a bond so that the myosin heads are able to and pull
That
and,
whole crash course video.
and make
Yeah.
the muscle shorter, right? Okay. And what is a threshold stimulus?
That is
what
a
it needs to meet.
stimulus that reaches threshold, creates an action potential.
Okay. And why does it need to reach a threshold?
So that it can be active.
Isn't that when once it reaches threshold, it releases the the chemicals,
Is this still muscle?
Calcium, right?
yeah.
So it's
Is
not
it
until
calcium?
it's not until it reaches threshold that the rest of the action potential or the rest of the process of the action potential is going to be met. So yes, calcium, the release of neurotransmitters, the release, right, the whole thing is going to end up kind of throwing it over the top and allowing it to happen.
Neurotransmitters are only released at synapses,
Correct.
at the
And this
synaptic cleft.
The neurotransmitter for muscles is acetylcholine,
In muscles,
Yes.
skeletal muscles, acetylcholine.
and it's
Inhibitory.
stimulatory.
Stimulatory.
And then enzyme that breaks it
Cardiac.
down is acetylcholine esterase.
Correct. Okay. Now I need you to think about afferent and efferent. What is efferent?
Efferent
It's
is
from the
it's
CNS or
motor-
PNS.
And then afferent
To the
is
brain.
towards the brain.
CNS to the CNS.
Okay. And so the peripheral nervous system, what is the efferent division of the peripheral is going to be from what to what?
Efferent is from the brain to
So-
the effector.
So efferent,
Efferent.
and
From
it's
the
going to be of the peripheral, so it's going from
the brain.
brain
Brain
to effector,
effector.
and the effector muscles are going to be skeletal in this case.
And this was autonomic?
No,
Peripheral.
Oh, peripheral, right. For some reason I was thinking autonomic.
yeah, peripheral. Okay. Now tell me about some characteristics of axons. When does an axon conduct the electrical charge the quickest? What has an
myelination.
effect? Myelination and
At the
Roads
the
around
Vandermeer.
with the roads of Ranvier and
There's another one. I totally forgot. It was my question on the study guide.
The actual structure of the cell? There's like bipolar, multipolar.
no. This is just the axon itself. Characteristics of the axon
If it's shorter.
to increase conduction.
Frequent.
Myelination diameter,
Oh, yeah.
And the nodes.
length,
I was like,
and the nodes of Ranvier.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But that is not
the more of all of that it's got,
So
Faster.
myelinated nodes of
Oh
Ranvier
yeah,
length
there's
and
a
diameter.
between the spaces that aren't
So
unmarked.
the faster,
My bad.
the what is?
like, no, never mind. Were you gonna say like the bigger it is, like the bigger the diameter, the faster it'll
Yes.
travel?
Uh-huh. The longer it is, the faster it travels. Yeah. Okay. All right. The primary site for where a neuron receives signals from other neurons.
Dendra?
Dendrites. Okay. Wow. What is ganglia? What are ganglia?
Bundles of cell bodies in the PNS.
And what are nuclei?
Bundles of cell bodies in the CNS.
And what are tracts?
Bundles of axons in the CNS.
And then what are nerves?
Bundles
Bundles
of
of
axons in the PNS.
Got it. Okay.
The Pepsi.
And then some neurotransmitters. Let's think about that. So Gigi says that acetylcholine is always at
Stimulatory in the skeletal
Skeletal.
system and inhibitory in the cardiac.
sometimes inhibitory in the cardiac.
Oh, sometimes.
And when it comes to the autonomic system, preganglionic
Wait, ganglia
releases acetylcholine
Is
always.
ganglia
No,
cell body?
PNS.
Stimulatory.
Stimulatory, yeah.
Then we have norepinephrine.
So what? Okay, so epinephrine and norepinephrine, and do they relax or are they?
They're excitatory.
They're excitatory.
Norepinephrine? Because
Yeah,
that's
they're not
That's
inhibitory.
adrenaline, right?
Yeah, that's adrenaline. Okay. Which neurotransmitter acts like an opiate?
Oh,
Oh, catecholamines?
catecholamines?
Okay, but which neurotransmitter? That's a
Oh.
category.
Nope.
Serotonin? That's
Got
a
your
happy
notes.
one.
It's like
Notes.
amphetamines.
Look at your notes. You got your notes, right, Eliza? Look at your notes.
Is that in the central?
Which neurotransmitter acts as an opiate? Is it dopamine?
Wait. Ask the question.
What neurotransmitter acts as an
What chapter is that in?
Opiate.
I have no idea.
What
It's
chapter?
a feel good.
It is
So
dopamine.
It's dopamine.
Yeah, I was right about that.
What?
What chapter is that?
When you
11.
eat chocolate, dopamine makes you
Fundamentals
feel
of
good.
Yeah, it said dopamine. Here it is.
She was like,
Dopamine. What was it?
What's the
You
one
said
that
natural
makes you
opiate, right?
Right.
So,
No, endorphins.
Opioids are a downer
Opiate, right? It's at the bottom. Endorphins is opiate.
Ah, endorphins.
though. Oh,
where is it? Oh, here.
At the very
Where's
last one.
dopamine?
It's where norepinephrine
Those are
is.
feel good, but not opiate.
So opiate is endorphin then, right?
No,
No.
no. It's going. Yes, endorphins are opiate. Feel good are
It's
just.
dopamine.
What did I say again? I just said it wrong again.
The
Not
endorphins act-
dopamine. Dopamine are feel good.
Uh-huh.
Endorphins are
Natural.
opiates.
okay.
Endorphins.
Endorphins.
I
Just
know.
pain relieving. So it's not a catecholamine.
Catecholamines are feel good.
And that's dopamine.
Dopamine.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Brain waves. Give me the types of brain waves.
Alpha, beta,
beta,
Like,
theta.
Tell me what
Oh.
they relate to.
So there's alpha, beta, and
Alpha
delta.
is meditation.
Alpha is like normal.
Calm ones.
Isn't beta when you're thinking hard?
yeah, concentration.
Hard.
And
Theta
then
is found in children.
And bad in
adult could be
adults.
bad.
And brain
And then,
damage.
is delta when you're like in?
alpha, beta, theta.
Oh, is delta the one that when you're under anesthetic?
You're relaxed.
Anesthesia, you find it, but
Wait.
if it's there when you're
Delta-
awake, it's bad.
Yeah. Delta may indicate brain damage in an awake adult. Alpha is for relaxed state. Theta is common in children.
And so beta would be
Beta is-
thinking hard.
Yeah, occurring mentally alert.
We were using beta.
What page is that on?
Right
Page 5.
Okay.
Or on mine.
Chapter 12.
No, yeah, I have the same pages numbers.
Okay.
What area of the brain ends up controlling a lot of big visceral functions? Heart rate, respiration,
Hypothalamus.
hypothalamus. And then what region of the brain is coordinating muscle agility,
Cerebellum.
balance?
Yeah, cerebellum.
Yep, cerebellum.
Cerebellum.
Cerebalance.
Cerebellum. That's good.
When you have afferent stimulus from the peripheral system and it shoots up the spinal cord, what is the gateway to the
Thalamus.
thalamus? And where is that information heading?
To the cerebral cortex.
Cerebral cortex.
So it's designated area.
So it's like it's
Yes.
at the designated lobe, right?
Right.
Not area.
The spinal cord begins where and ends where?
It starts at the magnum foramen.
yeah.
Magnum. Yeah.
And ends at the.
L1 or L2, right? Or,
But there's a word for it.
Oh, conus.
oh, yeah, the conus medullaris? No.
Yes.
That's,
Nice.
There's a word for it. Duh.
How about the
Yeah.
part of the brain that controls wakefulness or alertness of the cerebral
The
cortex?
Reticular?
can't do that.
No. What was the question again?
Part of the brain that regulates the state of wakefulness, alertness.
Is that the frontal lobe?
I thought that was the reticular formation.
Okay,
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's like the brain's filter, right?
correct.
Right, right.
It's like,
Correct.
and when you drink, it inhibits it because it's not going to be paying
Mm,
attention to
Hmm.
the. Okay.
Okay. So I need you to think about the eye now, and which nerve is going to regulate the shape of your lens?
Ocular
this-
motor.
The shape?
The shape of your lens is a ciliary body?
No, ocular.
It's what nerve.
Oh, the nerve.
Cranial nerve.
Yeah, the second
Oh.
one, right? Cranial too?
Should,
Optic?
Optic.
Alright. So let's just see far.
Oh, what plexus is responsible for
Brachial
that?
plexus.
Okay,
Is that
Who's
Okay.
responsible for that?
For this.
Yeah, for all of that. And then we did a reflex lab.
Patellar reflex.
And what kind of that's an example of what?
a stretch.
Stretch reflex?
Stretch reflex.
What was the difference between the stretch reflex and the Golgi tendon?
Golgi tendon prevents you from damage.
overstretching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Hyperextension.
Okay.
and overstretch, overuse. Okay. What cranial nerve deals with balance and equilibrium?
I wanna see if it's-
Vestibular.
Cochlear, yeah, the vestibular cochlear.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because the cochlea is all of the equilibrium.
Uh-huh.
And vestibular, yeah.
Yep.
Very good, very good.
Easy.
What are the cat 5 categories of receptors found in the body?
Oh, is that when it starts like at, is that like a stimulus? Is it that one?
No, just the types of receptors.
Nociceptors,
Nociceptors.
photoreceptors,
Mechanoreceptors,
chemoreceptors, mechanoreceptors,
and
and thermoreceptors.
Okay, and then what do each of them do?
So nociceptors is for
Pain.
pain, thermo is temperature,
Chemo is for chemicals.
Mechano is for
Movement.
and then what was the last one?
Photoreceptors.
Photoreceptors, light.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For some.
Yeah.
Okay. And then which cranial nerve is responsible for a bunch of the parasympathetic?
Oh,
10.
10
Yeah.
Vegas, yeah.
because it's the heart and the lungs and the small intestine and the stomach and the colon, kidneys. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's the only one that drops down. Now they're saying that this is where your diet comes in. That the bacteria in your gut can transmit information to the brain through the veins.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Is
there's
that
this thing
the,
when you
like-
eat bad food, it sends signals telling you to keep eating more bad
Eating
food.
bad food.
And like even though it's bad for you, it's like no, but you want this. Like it sends it.
Oh, kind of like sugar and the effect
Yeah.
sugar has on your brain and how addictive
Like
it
cause
can be.
yeah, think about it.
Yes.
Like when you eat a candy, you're like I want more. But
It's
like, why
also,
though?
they're finding link with gut microbes and autism. So again, do the gut
I've heard about
microbes
What chapter
that.
were the
have,
beta
they're
waves?
relating it to depression?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so like during pregnancy or?
No, with kids who are born and they're saying their gut microbes as a baby are not signaling properly, and that is causing autism.
Can I
And
see- can
fermented
I see the
foods that
beta
are
waves
fermented
and
with lactobacillus is
Find it.
supposed to help that.
That's right.
Yep.
stuff? That whole thing's
Yeah.
fermented.
So this is big, top stuff.
I read that because lactobacillus is the biggest food fermentation bacteria.
Sternocleidomastoid.
Okay, so which part of the ANS has an effect on the bronchioles of the lungs?
For the
Oh, that's the sympathetic
Oh yeah.
Dilate.
sympathetic nervous
Remember
system.
that parasympathetic doesn't have an effect. There was a few things the parasympathetic did not have an effect on, right?
And the heart, right?
Parts of the heart.
Parts of the heart.
I believe
And
kidneys.
your sweat glands.
Your
Sweat glands?
there's also that gland, the
Adrenal?
medulla, not the oblongata.
Adrenal.
Adrenal medulla.
It's yeah.
It's right here.
It's the adrenal. It's the kidneys,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the adrenals.
Yeah, and
With
the
yeah.
cellular metabolism.
And then the autonomic nervous system. What does it innervate?
Visceral organs.
That's the question that messed me up. I couldn't remember another name for autonomic.
Oh, you say
You remember
It's
that?
visceral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visceral. Yeah. And then the parasympathetic division is responsible for what?
Homeostatic. Rest and digest. Yeah.
Rest and digest.
So bringing you back to
Rest and digest. So,
The D.
you know, you're going to be storing nutrients at that time. Your eyes are doing what? Are they dilated
they're
or constricted?
constricted because they dilate during
And then the
sympathetic.
lenses are what?
Oh,
They're
not,
no,
they're not
they're
bulging,
bulging.
right?
They
They
are
are
bulging.
bulging.
They
It's
are
the flattest
bulging for
distance.
close vision.
Okay, so
right?
they bulge and constrict when you're in parasympathetic,
Mhm.
and then they flatten and dilate in sympathetic.
Sympathetic. Yeah, rest, digest, saliva. It's going crazy.
Yeah.
All that.
Your not kidney function, but urination and defecation.
Right.
Turns on or
Yeah.
finishes.
I'm dying.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Are there any questions about the eye?
Well, I mean, some of those could be. I mean, if it's talking parasympathetic, what's the eye doing? Or some, you know. So I just did a review of getting you back to thinking about those chapters.
The old
again.
stuff.
Yeah. Opiates again. Which neurotransmitter?
Opiates is
Endocrine.
catecholine.
No.
Oh, opiates
no.
is endorphins,
Endorphins.
and catecholine is feel good. Cato,
Yes.
whatever.
Dopamine.
Yes.
How many questions are we?
50.
50?
So are we going to be doing the lab practical, grade it, and then we're gonna go into the final?
Are we gonna have time to like look
Yes.
over? Okay.
We'll have
Yeah,
time.
we get
We
to
will
talk
have
and
time.
hang out and have a party.
Yeah. Talk, hang out,
I brought
relax a little
cake.
bit, go to the
You brought
restroom.
cake? You liar. You didn't bring cake.
Oh, does someone want the last donut?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what
Sandy's
kind
got
was
one
it?
donut.
Is it the